What up guys, my name is Oakley, welcome back to the garage. Today I am very excited to tell you that we have the new pin block for the piano, and we're going to go ahead and start working on the plate, cleaning it up, getting a lot of the old felts off, the tuning pin bushings off, so on and so forth, so that we can go ahead and start fitting the pin block to it. Thanks for joining me, hope you enjoy. Alright, so we have a lot of this felt that's on the piano, and we're going to go ahead and start taking it off. It should be pretty simple. It's just a matter of pulling it up like this. Probably the most time-consuming part of it is going to be the circular felts on the nubs back here where the string wraps around. So let's get started. All go into trash. Alright, so I got a quick hand from my friend and neighbor to help me move the plate into a different location. And as you can see here, the bushings on the underside, we're going to go ahead and take all of those out now, and it's actually pretty simple. If you just have a punch of any kind and just kind of like poke them through, they all fall out. It's just a matter of doing it 235 times, so let's get to it. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start sweeping up all those bushings, but one of the things you guys need to make sure to do is to save a couple, or to at least write down somewhere what size these bushings are, because you are going to need to replace them, and they are specific sizes, okay? You'll need to measure the outside diameter of them as well as the inside diameter of them. That way when you order your tuning pins, most people are going to replace them with 2/0 tuning pins. And then so that way you know the appropriate inside diameter as well as the appropriate outside diameter to purchase replacements. Alright, so after we got all the bushings out, we then want to go ahead and clean this surface as well as this back plate right here to the best of our abilities. We want a clean surface because what we're going to do is we're going to be applying some kind of material so that it transfers onto the pin block when we actually start shaping it. So I'm just going to be using some soapy water and a Scotch-Brite pad, and then I'm just going to let it air dry, probably. Alright, so we got the plate all cleaned up. Nice clean surface. And there's Axel. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the old pin block, which we have right here, and we're going to go ahead and start tracing it onto the new maple wood block, which is what I have here. And this pin block is basically the standard size that people will ship out if you just get a blank from it, and I checked it out and kind of overlaid it, and I should actually be able to get 2 pin blocks out of this. So if you're an amateur at this like I am, you at least have 2 shots to get it right, which is reassuring, but the idea of drilling 2 pin blocks doesn't seem that appealing to me. Hopefully we get it right on the first try. So that's what we're going to do next. Alright, just jumping in here real fast. You may be wondering why I'm putting tape down on the back side of this, but the reason I'm putting tape down there is because I want to try and prevent as much blowout as possible. If you don't know what that is, it just means like whatever you're using, whether it's a circular saw or a jigsaw or whatever, when you even go to drill, when it exits one side or the other, it's likely to grab pieces on the edge of the cut and just kind of tear it out, so you're going to have like little fringy things. So by putting some tape down, that should help prevent a lot of that, and we shall see if it does. All right, now we're gonna grab my jigsaw because that's the best thing that I have to cut that, or to cut this, and that's what we're going to use to do that. All right, I got the pin block cut out into the rough shape of the original pin block. And the tape I thought worked really, really well. So that's what it looks like. So let's peel some of this off and see how it really did. Oh yeah, nice clean line. Okay, good. So yeah, use some painter's tape and you're gonna have yourself some nice smooth edges. So we have a lot to do with this pin block blank, and the first thing we need to do after you've gone and trimmed it to the rough shape is you need some chalk. So I just bought some chalk at the office supply store, and this is just kind of regular chalkboard chalk. If I remember off the top of my head correctly, the page is 277 where they go into detail about how to make a new pin block, and he describes it as construction chalk. And I don't know if this is going to work differently, but you need to apply a bunch of chalk all along this top edge here on the plate. And what that's supposed to do is when you go to put the pin block up to that, the chalk is supposed to come off the cast iron onto the wood, and you're supposed to see where your high spots are, and then you go ahead and start working your way down. So let's see if that works. And now we shall see if the chalk transfers from the plate onto the pin block. And sure enough, as you can see right there, just a little bit, that it does transfer over. The big thing is this edge has to have a really big curve on it, so we already need to go ahead and start doing some work with curving this over, trimming it down, because where you see all the blue right here, that's a pretty intense curve in itself. So we're going to go ahead and start whittling down a little bit of this and see where we get. Alright guys, so here's where I'm at right now. I took the old pin block and put it onto the plate so that I could get a better idea of just how similar they should be or whatnot, or how close they are. And right now, as you can see, the old one has a little bit of an overhang to it, just by a tiny bit. And as we go towards the center, it goes more flush. And then as we get back down to the other end, it overhangs again. And of course, this is supposed to overhang. And now here's where I'm at with the new one. I on purpose left it hanging over the edge on both ends, so that way I don't want to get rid of more than I actually need to, so that keeps me safe in that regard. So as you can see, we start with an overhang and we go down and we maintain the overhang all the way till the end. So what I'm seeing, or what I'm noticing is different about the old one versus the new one, is that I am actually more straight with trimming this than the old one is, because like I said, it has this curve that goes in the middle. Now I think I'm almost done with shaping this pin block. I think I want to get a little bit closer to level or flush with the front of the pin block right here in this area. And so I think I'll keep carving away at the back side of it to continue to get this bigger section of it a little more flush. Here's one thing I noticed while I was doing it that you guys should probably be careful about. As I was going along, there's chalk that was transferring onto this part of it, and yeah, you'll need to trim off a little bit of this top surface part, or this is the side that would go against the plate right here. And so I was chiseling away some of this so it has more of a slope like right here, but then when I go ahead and put this onto the plate, it looks like this, and as you can see, there's a little bit of a gap, and I actually took a flashlight and I pointed it up through these bolt holes, and I could see light all the way down. So I know that I took too much off of this curve right here. So be careful not to accidentally take too much so that you can have more surface-to-surface contact. And so now I am just going to go ahead and keep working away at the back part right here so that this can be more flush with the plate. Hard to do. Alright, I think I'm going to call it done for shaping the pin block to the plate, and this is what it looks like. This is the top side of it, and as you can see, it's mostly there. Like, I have one spot here and one spot there that I'm not like a huge fan of, but it's making contact, and it's only in this the top part, like this top surface, where it kind of arcs away from it. It's hard to tell, but it has a lot of contact down there, and so I'm fine with that. This spot right here is probably the best contact point that I've had in this entire thing. And then on the narrow side of it, towards the end, it doesn't have great contact at this point, but it has really great contact down at the bottom there. And as we go further towards the end, it gets better all around. And so that is going to be it for this video. So the next part of this is going to be clamping the pin block to the plate so it stays in position, and then go ahead and start punching our holes into the pin block from the top side. Also, make sure to please subscribe and share and like this video if you found it useful. Please join me on the next video as we go about doing that. Thanks. Bye.